You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Today is Friday, August 13th, 2021, and this is your daily Star Trek news from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. On today's show, Kenneth Mitchell defies ALS with an onstage appearance at the 55-year mission in Las Vegas. The prop store has teamed up with ViacomCBS to offer official Star Trek Discovery and Short Treks props at auction, and I've got the answer to this week's Trek Trivia. I'm Alison Pitt, and today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. The 55-year Mission Las Vegas convention is well underway, and it is just as star-studded as its predecessor, STLV. Now, one of the stars who studded the stage in Vegas on Wednesday was Kenneth Mitchell, Star Trek Discovery's Klingons Kol, Kolsha, and Tanavik, and the human Aurelio. Mitchell also voiced 3 characters in the Star Trek Lower Decks Season 1 episode Veritas. Mitchell's voice, however, has since succumbed to his ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, according to TrekCore, who was there to document the panel on Twitter. Mitchell was in good humor, though, as he joked through a digitized voice, "I have been assimilated." On stage with Mitchell was Star Trek Discovery's L'Rell, Mary Chieffo, who is often by Mitchell's side at events like this. Now, because Mitchell's comments were pre-recorded, he jokingly feared that his answers to fan questions would turn into an instance of the fill-in-the-blank game, Cards Against Humanity. But the fans made it very clear that they love him. Also appearing on stage with Mitchell and Chieffo was his son, Callum, sporting a t-shirt that read, "I have been and always shall be your friend," the well-known quote from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Now, while Mitchell did joke that he was returning to Star Trek Discovery as Prime Lorca because, quote, Jason Isaacs wasn't available, he did seriously tease that he will be back in Discovery Season 4 in a very unique way. After using his digitized voice to say "Kapla," Mitchell left the stage to a standing ovation. You can catch all of Kenneth Mitchell's Star Trek performances so far with Star Trek Discovery Seasons 1 through 3 and Star Trek Lower Decks Season 1 on Paramount+. And while you're there, you might as well check out the latest season of Lower Decks. Season 2, Episode 1 just landed yesterday. Entertainment memorabilia auction site PropStore.com, which has featured iconic Star Trek props in previous auctions, announced this week that they're holding their first auction featuring items from the latest generation of franchise shows. Various pieces from Star Trek Discovery and Short Treks are up for sale, thanks to a first-ever collaboration between PropStore and ViacomCBS. TrekMovie.com shared a statement from John Van Citters, ViacomCBS Vice President of Franchise Planning and Star Trek Brand Development. Over the last 4 years, he said, fans all over the world have followed the crews of the Discovery, Shenzhou, and Enterprise through time and space with overwhelming love and excitement. I cannot imagine a better way to honor the fans than to offer them the opportunity to own original pieces from Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Short Treks through our first ever collaboration with PropStore. Highlights from the sale include Season 1 uniforms from just about every member of the Discovery crew, along with the USS Enterprise uniforms worn by Anson Mount and Ethan Peck in Season 2 of Discovery. Memorable props for sale include the Harry Berry cereal box, complete with tribbles, that one's from Short Treks, a Hero Type 2 phaser, and the Klingon torchbearer Duktag from Discovery Season 1. While Star Trek fans are bidding on these latest collectibles, PropStore will also be holding a special auction in honor of Leonard Nimoy, with proceeds going to benefit Chronic Obstructive Pulmonary Diseases, or COPD, research program at UCLA. Up for sale there are 2 items from Nimoy's personal collection, a Star Trek 25th anniversary pinball machine, which I want, and also the ears he wore in Star Trek Into Darkness. Now, the auction starts on September 2nd, but you can register now and be entered into a drawing to win one of 5 original tribbles used in Star Trek Short Treks. Visit propstore.com/Star Trek to learn more. I've got the answer to Tuesday's trivia in just a moment, but first, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. If you've been putting off seeing a counselor because of financial concerns, then you should take a few minutes to look into BetterHelp. Their professional counseling services are more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. Plus, with a system that matches licensed counselors to your needs and makes it easy to change if you need to, you can be assured that your time will be used effectively. That's something you can't always guarantee with in-person therapy. I want you to start living a happier life today. And as a daily Star Trek news listener, you can get 10% off your first month of counseling by visiting betterhelp.com/DSTN. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's betterhelp, HELP.com/DSTN. And now it's the answer to this week's Trek Trivia. On Tuesday, I asked you, before B'Elanna Torres' father John deserted her and her mother Maral, where had they been living and where did they go after he left? The answer? At the time of B'Elanna's birth and throughout her early childhood, the Torres family lived in a Federation colony on Keswick 4. Relations with the Klingons weren't very good at the time, and she and Maral were the only Klingons on the planet. Although most of the colonists didn't voice any negative opinions of her, she always felt that she and her mother were outsiders. When John left them to return to Earth, B'Elanna and Maral moved to the Klingon homeworld of Kronos, and Maral eventually sent her daughter to a monastery to learn honor and discipline. For more Trek trivia, tune in next Tuesday. Right. Just one last thing before I go. It's Friday. Don't forget, we've got a giveaway running now through tomorrow, through Saturday, for Star Trek Online codes. We've got 5 Klingon personnel packs to give away for each of Xbox One and PlayStation 4, so that's 10 in total. And it's really easy to enter. Just retweet our giveaway tweet, or you can also just email me. The address is info@dailystartreknews.com and use the subject line Star Trek Online. For more information, go to dailystartreknews.com/Star Trek Online. Entries close this Saturday, August 14th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. Once again, that's dailystartreknews.com/Star Trek Online for all the details, and good luck. Well, that's it for today's Daily Star Trek News from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Don't forget to check out the other great shows on the network at podcasts.roddenberry.com. Daily Star Trek News is produced by me, Alison Pitt, and it's written by Chris Peterson, Jack Brown, and David Powell, with trivia by T. Rick Jones. Today's show was sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. I'm back on Monday with more of the Star Trek news you need to know. I'm Alison Pitt. Have a wonderful weekend, and live long and prosper.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.